I know Dante won't mind, but I am starving. Absolutely starving. He left this bag in here. I'm spitting. He left this bag in here with his carnivore crisps. And I was seriously thinking of stopping and getting some fast food just so I could nibble on something, but I didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to do it. So I'm gonna have to tell him I ate some of your carnivore crisps. But it saved me from A, spending money that I don't want to spend, and B, eating food I shouldn't eat and don't want to eat. So very, very thankful.
You know, the funny thing is that was recorded yesterday when we were up in Georgia. I'm not used to saying up in Georgia. And I just got back from my walk that I'm about to show you now. But it surprises me that Katie would... It surprised me that Katie even recorded that video. But obviously she had a aha moment about the carnivore crisps that I've been trying to drive through when I talk to people, because, you know, when I do any type of advertising for a company, you better believe I believe in that product, because I'm not gonna hawk for somebody that I don't believe in. And carnivore crisps are one of those products that when I found out what they were made with, grass-fed, grass-finished beef, made with real salt, Redmond real salt, my favorite salt, that I had decided long before I ever talked to them about advertising for them that I love that salt. You know, I just knew that was going to be a product that I would get behind. And I have enjoyed every time I've had a bag of carnivore crisps. And I've been thankful that I've had them when I've had them. And I am very thankful that my wife ate my carnivore crisps yesterday to get over her hunger, to stop her from eating something that she didn't want to eat. And I hope they do the same for you. If you haven't ordered some yet, you can go to carnivorecrisps.com and get yours now using my promo code Dante, D-A-N-T-E, and get 10% off your order. I'm sure you'll appreciate them when you need them too. All right, here's to this morning's walk. Morning, Sam. Beautiful full moon on one side, beautiful sunrise coming up on the other. It's gonna be a beautiful day. Looking forward to today's walk and talk with you. Got to tell you guys, I'm really inspired by you. The things that you comment on my videos help keep me going, because I'm in such a black hole here for information and data and contact with anybody other than my close family. And sometimes you get a little bit of cabin fever. But I really appreciate the comments that you guys make, letting me know how much my videos inspire you, because it's truly my life's desire to be able to inspire others to be the best version of themselves they can be. You know, I talk a lot about this diet and how it has changed me. It's so much more than just the physical side and the appearance aspects of it all. It's a self-actualization that I haven't known but in brief spurts throughout my life. I was watching Joe Rogan talk to Russell Brand in 2019 this morning, because I was watching something else before that, and then this just started playing, and I couldn't stop listening to what they were talking about, because I mean, it was a myriad of things, but it's like, yeah, I like this discussion they're having. It's very open, it's very honest, very accepting of the differences of each other. And it's coming from a couple of people that at one time in my life, I thought both of them might be crazy. And now I find myself listening to them talk, especially more now in 2021, as they seem to be opening up to things that they didn't necessarily even give credence to at one time. But now they're starting to talk about things that they probably wouldn't have talked about before because it was not in their it was just not something that they would agree with or feel like was the right way to look at things. Holy cow. That is just so beautiful. Not the fence, the sunrise. And it was just nice to see. It's been nice to see people who I thought were closed-minded to things that I was open-minded about are starting to be open-minded to those things. Good morning, Colt. There's Colt. He likes to come out and say hi every time I walk by. I think Sam likes him. I think he likes Sam too, because he's very friendly. They just don't get to hang out. But it was very enlightening listening to these two men just have a discussion, have that man sharpens man like iron sharpens iron moment. Because there were areas where they differed, but they were able to discuss them intelligently. And it's so comforting to see that that is becoming mainstream, being able to talk normally to one another. Now, granted, that was in 2019, before all this, all these mind games we've had going on in 2020 and 2021. But it's nice to see what they're saying now is they're not oblivious to the actions of those in power to take advantage of circumstances that are considered catastrophic to gain more power. So it's been encouraging to see those changes, and it encourages me that this diet has allowed me to be able to express my viewpoints without being as dogmatic as I once was about certain things. You know, there was a saying a pastor of mine once said, to be dogmatic about the essentials, but flexible about the non-essentials, because you're never going to be able to get along with anybody if you're just dogmatic about everything. And Lion Diet has helped me to come into myself more, to be more comfortable in my own skin. You know, there's probably a lot of reasons why I wasn't as comfortable in my skin as I should have been, regardless of my appearance. But let's just say that my childhood was troubled. If you've ever seen the movie Carrie, think about how the teenagers in the movie treated her. And that's what I remember my childhood being like. I watched a millennial that watches movies from my time period like that watch Carrie, and she could not understand why the teenagers were the way they were to her in that movie. And be honest with you, I can't understand why they were either. But I also understand it was a reality, and it screwed with my head for a long time. And I think I've had a lot to offer folks, but I've kept it hidden because of insecurities that I didn't let myself get around. And dieting this way has given me the energy to do the things that I've always wanted to do, but just didn't do. Has given me the desire to pursue those things. And it's so important to have, when you're coming out of your shell like that, to have the support of a community that lets you know, that validates what you're dealing with and what you're doing. So I want to thank you guys, because you that watch my channel mean everything to my continued success in this, but also for me to be able to reach more people and to share with them how they can change their lives in a way that they would feel very happy about changing. One of my commenters, I remember, said something along the lines of, when he was commenting on my Halloween video, that there was a number of people that showed up at a party that dressed as superheroes who were clearly way overweight, and they knew they were overweight,
And they were very comfortable in their own skin to be able to deal with that. And God bless them. I'm glad they can. I'm glad they could do that. But for a lot of us, that's not a comfortable situation to be in. And we'd like to be able to find comfort in that situation. But really, I always wanted to just be normal so that I could not feel like I was the odd man out all the time. And get along with people better. And I always associated whatever failings about myself that I found to be wanting as being the things that they saw also. And I've come to find out since then that it isn't so much about the failings that we see in ourselves that they see. It's the failings they see in themselves that they see and respond to. This is another dog that has been trying to follow me all morning. I'm trying to stay focused here though. I can't pick up another dog. Lord knows I don't need to come home with another one. But the people I dealt with that made me feel so insecure about myself were probably just terribly insecure about themselves, and tearing down somebody for whatever reason that was easy to poke fun at. Being overweight has always been something that was easy for young people to poke fun at. So it's something that tends to stick with you when you get into adulthood. And if you don't deal with those childhood coping mechanisms, you can go through your adult life trying to function using those same childhood mechanisms for coping with difficulty, and they don't work in your adult life. So I'm just thankful to have been able to find this way of eating that has changed so much for the way I feel about myself, the way I feel about the way I look, the way I can present myself to my wife, and the way I can present myself to you and share my story with you, because I know there's lots of people out there who experience a lot of these same feelings, and they're just trying to get through life without anybody giving them too much hard time. Or they're trying to succeed, which is something I've always tried to do, is to try to be the best version of myself I could be. But when I was inadequate in an area, or I would fall short, I would be very likely to quit and not keep going with what I was attempting to do, because I would feel like I was an object of ridicule or whatever. I mean, it's just all kind of psychological things that we do to ourselves that sabotage ourselves. But this change has been one that has really helped me to be comfortable in my own skin and not become what I was afraid I might become if I ever did have that body that I always wanted to have. If I ever did have something that I could be proud of and become an arrogant jerk. I didn't want to become an arrogant jerk, but I also know that I struggle with arrogance as a trait, that I tend to have superior minded thinking about what I believe as opposed to what some other people believe. And my beautiful wife is a big reason why I've been able to realize that, is that she's so non-judgmental. She helps me to be less judgmental of not only others, but also of myself. But being able to have some control over an area of my life that I thought was out of control, between the gut issues and the body appearance issues, it has been a wonderful part of this whole thing, but it's not all of it. The biggest part is being able to be a part of society and feel like you have something to offer, and to be able to offer something that is helpful to others, that encourages. I love being able to be encouraging to others, and I need encouragement myself, and you guys give that to me, and I really appreciate it. So that encouraged me to get up earlier again this morning so I could catch the early sunrise. I got my hoodie on that my wife bought for me. I never wear hoodies, but I'm starting to be comfortable with a lot of things I wasn't comfortable with before. And a lot of that is also because of this new move. This move into what essentially is a wilderness on my property, and trying to make a life out of it. The daily grind of doing something that I can hardly plan a day, because I don't really know exactly how to do what I have to do a lot of times. But that challenge, that difficulty, the hardness of doing something that you're not used to doing, and pushing yourself out there and getting it done, sometimes not so well, and that's where I beat myself up. But sometimes when it works out, it's such a step in the right direction. I remember them talking, Joe Rogan and Russell Brand were talking to each other about how Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu did that for them, and being able to get out of certain arm bars and whatnot, when at first they felt like they were just constantly going to be defeated. I definitely know that feeling of feeling like you're just not going to be able to beat this. And I have felt that way with doing handiwork. And after the contractor was finished with the inside of our house, one of the things that he was not able to do was get our toilet hooked up properly, because the toilet that was there was obviously defective in some way. And I tried to fix it, but I couldn't fix it, and that was demoralizing. So I just decided I'm not going to mess around with this toilet. And my wife wanted the toilet to be fixed so we'd stop having to go in the RV. But I was able to go down to Home Depot, pick up a new one, and install it myself, having never done that before, and successfully have it come out the right way. That's my small step right now. That's my getting out of that arm bar, because I have felt so inept in the handyman world that when I have a small success like that, it reminds me that I can get better at this and other things. Just like I can get better at how I take care of my body and how I take care of my mind, how I take care of my soul, and so can you. You can live the life that you want to live. You got to be not afraid to get out there and face difficult things that you're not good at, to push yourself outside of your normal comfort zone and just go for it. I'm not saying to necessarily do something dangerous or stupid that you've been wanting to do, but do those things that you know are a challenge, and if you can overcome them, you'll be the better for it. Well, anyway, that's my message for this morning. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?